شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. A Jewish scholar once came to the Prophet ﷺ and he asked a question that which places are the best on the land. The Prophet ﷺ, he responded that I will remain silent until Jibreel alayhi salam comes and I will ask him. So when Jibreel alayhi salam comes, Prophet ﷺ, he presents the question, and Jibreel alayhi salam, he says that I would have to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ask. So Jibreel alayhi salam, he goes back to Allah. Now, this hadith is in Mishkat and mentions that usually when Jibreel alayhi salam comes to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he comes as a messenger from Allah to Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This time it's the opposite. Jibreel alayhi salam is going to Allah as a messenger from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So Allah extended additional hospitality to Jibreel alayhi salam and allowed him to come so close to him. He says, "Kana bayni wa baynahu sab'una alfa hijabin min nur." That between me and Allah there were only 70,000 veils of light. Meaning I've never been able to come this close to Allah. And what was the response of Allah? Khairul biqa'i masajiduha. The best places on the land are the masajid. Another narration, Ahabbul biladi ilallahi masajiduha. The most beloved places to Allah are the masajid. And the people who come to these masajid, they are so precious to Allah. Prophet said, close meaning of the hadith, that whoever comes to the masjid morning and evening, that Allah prepares a hospitality for him. A'addallahu lahu fil jannati nuzula. Now this word nuzula, it is a very comprehensive term. It includes many meanings. Hospitality, welcoming, entertainment, a feast, and abodes. And all of these meanings, they apply here. Abu Umama radiallahu anhu mentions the narration, the virtue that when a person makes wudu in his home, and then he comes to the masjid to perform an obligatory salat, a first salat, فَأَجْرُهُ كَأَجْرِ الْحَاجِّ الْمُحْرِمِ. His reward is like the reward of the person who's going to perform Hajj in the state of Ihram. That is the reward. بَشِّرِ الْمَشَّائِينَ فِي الظُّلَمِ إِلَى الْمَسَاجِدِ. That give glad tidings to those who frequent the masajid in the hours of darkness. بِالنُّورِ التَّامِّ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Give them glad tidings of complete light on the day of judgment. Abu Darda radiallahu anhu mentions the narration that a person who gives a great portion of his time to the masjid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes responsibility that I will grant him comfort, birrawhi barrahma, and bestow mercy upon him. Wal jawazi ala sirat, and I will make his crossing over the sirat bridge easy for him. Ila ridwanillahi ila al-jannah, and I will grant him my pleasure and paradise. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who are given these glad tidings. Now that we're coming to the masjid in the month of Ramadan very often, let us ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for us to be able to come to His house during the rest of the year as well. And secondly, my brothers, I want to bring this matter to your attention, the situation that has occurred a few times already, that our neighbor's driveway has been blocked by a vehicle. Our Deen Islam, it places great emphasis on the rights of neighbors. It reminds us to behave in a manner that is respectful and considerate of everyone. In Surah An-Nisa, when Allah talks about the importance of worshipping Him alone, وَعَبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. He talks about worshipping Him alone, not associating any partners with Him, and being good to our parents, and then take care of the needy, help the orphans. And right after that, He says, وَجَارِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى وَجَارِ الْجُنُوبِ. That take care of the neighbors that are nearby and those that are further away. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he once said, "Wallahi la yu'min." By the qasam of Allah, he's not a believer. Again, he said, "Wallahi la yu'min." Again, third time, he said, "Wallahi la yu'min." Sahaba were astonished, and they said, "Man ya Rasulullah? Ya Rasulullah, who is that?" Prophet said, "Alladhi la ya'manu jaruhu bawa'iqahu." That person whose neighbor does not feel safe from his evil. He annoys, he troubles his neighbors. My brothers, our actions as Muslims in this country, they speak volumes about who we are and what we stand for. Our duty towards our neighbors is so significant. Prophet ﷺ said that Jibreel alayhi kept on telling me and reminding me to take care of my neighbors and be good to them to the extent that I thought that I would have to include them in my inheritance, in my wirafat. That's why, my brothers and elders, let us try to be more mindful and cognizant of how and where we park our vehicles, especially during this busy time of the year in Ramadan, and when we're coming for iftar, when we're coming for Taraweeh, and also during the Jummah prayers. And after Taraweeh, when we're leaving the masjid, a lot of our neighbors, they're resting at that time. So we want to leave the masjid without making a lot of noise, without raising our voices and leaving the premises quietly. We should remember that this is a residential area. And it took us so many years to secure the permit to operate this masjid. And we don't want to jeopardize the standing and future of our masjid in this community. So inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all tawfiq to be good to our neighbors, park our vehicles properly, inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put mercy in our hearts and consideration for others.